गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगिताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। तं सूर्यं जगतां नाथं ज्ञानविज्ञानमोक्षदं महापापहरं देवं तं सूर्यं प्रणमाम्यहम्। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। अस्तु। सो अद्य तृतीया विभक्तिः। सो द्वितीया विभक्ति अभवत् कारकद्वितीया, उपपदद्वितीया, कर्मप्रवचनीयद्वितीया सर्वमपि अभवत्। अद्य तृतीया विभक्तिः। Some of you asked for the gati words and sutras related to that. So I will conduct that as a separate class. I will not mix it with the Karaka class. Okay, we'll do that separately. And there are so many sutras involved there also, and most of them are different. Like they are focusing more on the pronunciation. They are labeled as gati and used in that sense when there is a difference in how they are pronouncing, means in the recitations of the Vedas and all. That is when they are identified as gatis to be for the pronunciation to be either swarita, udatta, or anudatta. Some of the sutras are based on that, some are based on other things. So there is quite a few sutras. There are not very few. We have considerable number of sutras. So I will work on those and then I will conduct a separate class for the gatis. So today we'll continue with Tritiya Vibhakti. So Karaka Tritiya, Upapada Tritiya. Iti Tritiya Dvividha. So we have again, like with every Vibhakti, Tritiya Vibhakti also, Karaka Tritiya is there and Upapada Tritiya is there. Kartrikarake Karanakarake cha Tritiya Vidhanat Kartritritiya Karanatritiya cha iti Karaka Tritiya Dvividha. So within the Karaka Tritiya also, we have two. One is Kartritritiya, that is also a Karaka, Kartrikaraka Tritiya, which happens when in the Karmani Prayoga, where the Kartrikarakam gets Tritiya Vibhakti. And then Karana Tritiya, in Karana Karaka, when a word is being used as an instrument. to indicate the instrument used in the sadhana of that kriya. For that kriya to happen, that which is used as the karanam, as the sadhanam, that will get karanakaraka sanya, and that karanakarakam will get tritiya vibhakti. So karaka tritiya is again of two types, kartru tritiya and karana tritiya. एवञ्च कर्तृकारकतृतीया करणकारकतृतीया उपपदतृतीया च इति तृतीया अपि त्रिविधा भवति. So totally tritiya vibhakti happens in three cases: kartrukarakathrutiya, karanakarakathrutiya, and upapadathrutiya. In these three cases we have tritiya vibhakti. यः कर्ता यच्च करणं तस्मात् कर्तृवाचकात् करणवाचकात् च तृतीया भवति. So we discussed this. The kartrupadam and the karanakaraka padam will get tritiya vibhakti. Anukte kartari karane cha tritiya vidhayakam sutram evameva kartrukaranayos tritiya. Anabhihite kartari karane cha tritiya syat iti. Upapada tritiya vidhayaka sutrani bahuni santi. So here anukte kartari karane cha tritiya vidhayakam sutram. So here kartrukaranayos tritiya, we have referred to this sutra many times. So when the kartrukarakam is there and when the karanakarakam is assigned, that sanya is given to a word, then tritiya vibhakti will be given to that as per this sutra. Anabhihite kartari. We know that the karta word, if it is abhihitam with the kriyapadam, like Ramaha pustakam pathati. Here the pathati ti is indicating the karta. So here karta is abhihitam. When it is abhihitam, it gets prathama vibhakti. Anabhihite, it will become tritiya vibhakti. Right? So here kartrukaranayos tritiya, anabhihite kartari, when the karta is not abhihitam, and when the word gets the karana sanya, in both these cases it will get tritiya vibhakti. Upapada tritiya also, we have so many cases with upapada tritiya, and we'll refer to all those. So karaka tritiya, kartari. Adhyapakena vidyalayah gamyate, swatantraha karta. Here again a little bit of about the kartrukarakam is again given. So let us go over it. We have already covered this in the context of the karta, but in this context again it is being referred to. Let us read. So swatantraha karta, kriyayam swatantriyena vivakshitoorthah karta syat. Swatantriyam nama kriyashrayatvam. Evancha kriyashrayah karta iti phalitarthah. So we have seen that also. So he who does the work or the kriya out of his own independence, there is no dependency on anything. So then that is called karta. So he who does that is called karta. There is nothing else influencing his action. Okay, there is nothing else influencing his action. He is doing out of his own free will. So then that kind of person or the object that is doing the kriya gets the kartru nama. So, and he is the kriya ashrayatvam also. Where is this kriya happening? That kriya ashrayatvam kutra asti? Kartari asti, in the karta. So, Ramaha patati, the patana kriya is happening where? Within Rama. So, kriya ashrayatvam kutra asti tat karta. Okay, phalashrayam kutra asti tat karma. This we already studied in the very beginning. Evancha क्रियाश्रयः कर्ता इति फलितार्थः. अध्यापकेन विद्यालयः गम्यते. अत्र गम धातोः अर्थः संयोगरूपं फलं तदनुकूलक्रिया च. गमनक्रियाश्रयः अध्यापकः. So this gamanakriya is happening, that ashrayatvam is there in adhyapaka. अतः अध्यापकः कर्ता. गम्यते इत्यत्र ते इति प्रत्ययस्य अर्थः कर्म न तु कर्ता. Though adhyapakah is the karta, because of the kriya ashrayatvam is there, so adhyapaka is recognized as the karta. But the kriya padam gamyate, the te here is denoting the karma, not the karta. So here it is anabhihitam. Ataha adhyapakah karta. गम्यते इत्यत्र ते इति प्रत्ययस्य अर्थः कर्म न तु कर्ता अतः ते इति प्रत्ययेन कर्ता न उक्तः अनभिहितः इत्यर्थः. It is not being explicitly denoting the karta. तस्मात् कर्तृवाचकात् अध्यापकशब्दात् कर्तृकरणयोस्तृतीया इति सूत्रेण तृतीया भवति. Here we have to also understand that anabhihite will come as anuvritti. So though here in this sutra that anabhihite word is not there, it still implies because we take that as anuvritti. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't take that anuvritti, kartrukaranayos trutiya, trutiya vibhakti should be applied even when karta is abhihita, which is not correct. So we have to understand that whenever we are studying the sutras, the things which are implied, which are not in the sutra, are coming as anuvritti.
Which
So
page number more there?
Page number 32.
Okay, then
The Karaka book. इदम् अवधेयं कर्मणि प्रयोगेषु कर्मवाच्येषु भावे प्रयोगेषु च कर्तृपदं तृतीयान्तम् एव भवति. So in karmani prayoga means where the kriya padam is indicating the karma and not the karta, like in this example sentence adhyapakena vidyalayah gamyate. Here gamyate kriya padam is in karmani prayoga, which means it is indicating the karma abhihitam bhavati. So there the kartrikarakam will get tritiya vibhakti. Similarly in bhave prayogeshu cha kartrupadam tritiyantam eva bhavati. Udaharanam sudena tandulaha pachyate pushpena vikasyate. Here sudena tandulaha pachyate is karmani prayoga. Pushpena vikasyate is bhave prayoga. Okay. So here what is vikasyate? By te what is being indicated? That action. Here the phalashrayatvam and the kriya ashrayatvam are both in pushpena only, are both in pushpa. Okay, so pachyate ityatra te ityasya artha karma na tu karta. Vikasyate ityatra te ityasya artha bhavaha na tu karta. So here vikasyate, it is indicating not the karma, not the karta, but the bhavam, right? That vikasanam. So here also the karta is not abhihitam by the kriyapadam. That is why it will get tritiya vibhakti. Evancha ubhayatra api karta na uktaha anabhihitaha. Kartuhu anabhihitatvat ubhayatra api kartrukaranayoho tritiya iti tritiya eva bhavati. So because of that reason, in both the karmani prayoga and in the bhave prayoga, the kriyapadam is not explicitly stating the karta. In the karmani prayoga, it is stating the karma. In bhave prayoga, it is expressing the bhava of the kriya, of the dhatu. The dhatvartha is only being emphasized on. It is not indicating the karta or it is not indicating the karma. So, karta anabhihitam. Ataha tritiya vibhaktihi bhavati. Kartrukaranayos tritiya iti sutreena. Ramaha banena ravanam hanti. Sadhakatamam karanam. Kriyasiddhau prakrushtopakaragam karakam karanasanyam syat. So we know that the word which gets the kartrasanya and which is anabhihita and the word that gets karanasanya get tritiya vibhakti by the sutram kartrukaranayos tritiya. But how or what will get the karanasanya? That is defined by this sutra sadhakatamam karanam. Sadhakatamam. So when a kriya is being done, there are so many factors that help that kriya happen. Out of all those factors, which is the most important one, which is the most important action that is directly affecting the kriya, for the happening of the kriya, for the kriya to be completed. Okay, that will be labeled as sadhakatamam, sadhakam. Okay, that is used as the sadhakam. Now here also again we have to again remember that vivaksha of the speaker will also be there. So what the speaker would like to express as the most most important one as the sadhakam, that will get the karanakarakam. That also we have to understand. When we are cooking rice, say for example, Fire is important. Firewood is important. The patra is important. Water is important. All these are important. But what the vivaksha chooses to express here, the firewood is so optimal that it is very good firewood that we have. It is nicely continuously burning and it is lasting very long. So we say that the firewood itself, because of the firewood only today this cooking has happened. If the firewood is damp and not good, then will the cooking happen? So in such a case, the firewood can act as a primary sadhakam. Sometimes the patra itself, you won't have a proper vessel, so it cooking will can become really difficult. Only with proper tools we will be able to cook properly, right? It will not come out the same. Like when you have all the necessary tools of the size and all, you have a very small patra and you have to cook for 10 people. How is it possible? You have to cook so many times, or whatever you cook may not come out properly, and all these factors. So all these factors are there. Out of all those, which the speaker chooses to present as the most sadhakam, the most important sadhakam, that will get the karanakarakam. Sometimes two or more objects can also get karanakarakam. Nothing wrong in that. Everything depends on how the speaker wants to express. So here, that is why kriya siddhau, for the kriya to happen, prakrishtopakarakam, the most important karakam or sadhakam, that karakam karanasanyam syat. Ramaha banena ravanam hanti. Atra han dhatoho arthaha pranaviyoga rupam phalam tadanukula vyaparascha. Okay, so han dhatoho, what is the meaning of han dhatu? When do you say that kriya siddhi has happened? When somebody has been killed, when he has lost his life. So prana viyoga rupam phalam tadanukula vyaparascha. You can kill in many ways. Okay, atra ramaha karta prana viyoga rupa phalashrayatvat ravanaha karma. So the phalashrayam is in Ravana. That prana viyogam happens in Ravana. So phalashrayatvam is there in Ravana. So Ravana becomes the karma. And the karta becomes Rama. Why? Because that kriya ashrayatvam is there in Rama. He is the one who is doing that action of killing. Prana viyoga rupam phalam bana pravesha samanantarameva bhavati. Iti banaha karanam. So how is Rama killing Ravana? By using the arrow. Only when that arrow enters Ravana, immediately after the arrow enters Ravana, he is dying. So here arrow is the most important sadhakam. Now the bow is also there. To release the arrow, you need bow. So bow also is a sadhakam only. But with that bow, if the arrow falls somewhere else, does that happen the kriya siddhi? Does that make the kriya siddhi to happen? No. So bow, though it is a sadhakam, it is not the prakrishtopakarakam sadhakam. It is also a sadhakam, but it is not sadhakatamam. It is not the most important sadhakam. Bana is the most important sadhakam, because only after it enters the body of Ravana that kriya siddhi is happening, that dying is happening. Okay, so here bana will become the karanam. Tasmat karanavachakat kartrukaranayos trutiya iti trutiya vibhaktihi bhavati. So once it is identified, once it gets the karana sanya, by the sutra kartrukaranayos trutiya, it will get trutiya vibhakti. So shashtam prishtamapi pashyantu. In the 6th page also we studied, like I said, we studied all this briefly when we are studying the karakas. Some of the same is being repeated here. Akshaihi divyati. Akshan divyati. So here divyati, it is div dhatu, which also means there are several meanings. One of the meaning is to play. Akshaihi divyati, akshan divyati. So akshaihi, aksha means dice. So playing dice means a game of gamble. So divaha karmacha, this is the sutra. Divaha karmacha means karma also. So when this div dhatu is used, the word which is being used along with the div can get either the karanakarakam or the karma sanya. Both it will get. by this sutra, the karma sanya is also being added. Divaha sadhakatamam karakam karma sanyam syat. Okay, cha karana sanyam. So it will get both karma sanya and the karana sanya. How does it get karana sanya? Because that is what is being used in the game of gambling, right? Without dice, there is no game. So it is a karanam. In that aspect, it is getting karana karakam. So it is getting karana sanya. By this sutra, it also gets the karma sanya. And when it gets the karma sanya, karmani dvitiya. By the sutra karmani dvitiya, it can get dvitiya vibhakti. When it gets the karana sanya, kartrikaranayos trutiya. By that sutra, it will get trutiya vibhakti. So here both are acceptable. So akshaihi divyati is also shuddham. Akshan divyati is also shuddham. Okay, both are equally correct. Here in this case, only with the div dhatu, not for others. With the div dhatu, the word that gets the karana sanya can also get karma sanya. And here both are karakas only. You remember that karana sanya is a karakam, karma sanya is also a karakam. So both will get the tritiya vibhakti and dvitiya vibhakti based on kartrikaranayos tritiya and karmani dvitiya. We have to remember that in both these cases, they are karaka sambandha, karaka vibhakti eva. Dvitiya vibhakti is also karaka vibhakti. Tritiya vibhakti also is karaka vibhakti in this case. Okay. So pretty much the karaka tritiya is only these cases. Okay. One is karaka tritiya. One is the kartrikarakam, which takes tritiya anabhihite. Again kartrikarakam. Anabhihite when it is in bhave prayoga, and then the karana when it is karana sanya. When a word gets karana sanya, it gets tritiya vibhakti, and this is a special case when the div dhatu is used. The word the karana can also get the karma sanya. So these are the cases where the karaka tritiya is used. Any questions so far?
Miss, this one, last one, Akshay Divyati, ये थोड़ा confusing है.
Okay, so
थोड़ा
divyati is a kriya padam, and the dhatu here is div dhatu, which has many meanings. Here the meaning used is to play, like a krida. Okay, so here aksha means dice. You know how a game of gamble they use dice. Without dice, the game cannot go forward. Dice is very important. So here dice is the karanam, is the sadhakatamam. That is the tool which is used to play for the kriya siddhi to happen. That is what is used. So aksha gets karanakarakam because of that, because it is the sadhakatamam.
Because it is a tool.
So it gets a karanakarakam, and once it gets karanakarakam by the sutra kartrikaranayos trutiya, it will get trutiya vibhakti, because any word which gets karanakarakam will get trutiya vibhakti by this sutra.
Yes.
By the sutra divaha karmacha is a Paniniya sutra which states that when div dhatu is used, the word which gets karana sanya can also get karma sanya. So here the aksha word, the aksha shabda, which is the karana sanya, also gets the karma sanya because of this particular sutra, divaha karmacha, because of this Paniniya sutra. That same word which gets the karana sanya also will get karma sanya. It can take both forms, both not at once. If you take karana sanya, it will be karana sanya. If you take it as karma sanya, it will be karma sanya, and in dvitiya vibhakti. Okay, so we can do sentences. Akshay divyati, akshan divyati. So akshan divyati is where aksha shabda got dvitiya vibhakti in bahuvachana. Like Ramam, Ramau, Raman. So aksham, akshau, akshan.
Yes, miss. Akshan divyati.
There aksha shabda got karma sanya, and by the sutra karmani dvitiya, it got dvitiya vibhakti. In akshay the Aksha Shabda is recognized as Karana Sanya. So it got Tritiya Vibhakti by the Sutra Kartrukaranayos Tritiya. In Bahuvachana Akshaihi it will become.
Yes, yes, Miss. Okay, thank you, Miss. Understood.
Astu. So Anantaram Upapada Tritiya. Okay. So here Balaha Mitrena Saha Agachati. This you all know, this application Saha. Saha Yukte Apradhane. That is the sutra here. Saha Yukte, when used along with the Saha. Apradhane, and it should be Apradhana Karta. Means Ramena Saha Sita Vanam Gachati. Or Sitaya Saha Ramaha Vanam Gachati. Here Ramaha Vanam Gachati, Sita Api Vanam Gachati. So technically, both these Rama and Sita, both are the Kartripadani here. We can also say the same sentences, Ramaha cha Sita cha Vanam Gachataha. We can say that also. In all these cases, there is no difference in the meaning wise. But the way you are saying is a little different. When you say Ramaha cha Sita cha Vanam Gachataha, Rama and Sita are going to the forest. Sitaya saha Ramaha Vanam Gachati. We are making Rama as the Pradhana Karta. Ramaha Vanam Gachati, and along with him even Sita went. Though the action is the same, both have to follow the same route, the same effort, everything is the same. Both are equally karta. But because of the use of the saha, Sita will get apradhana karta status. Only because it is used along with saha, it is the meaning wise. When you say when you say Rama and Sita went to the forest, Rama went to the forest along with Sita. So here Rama sounds more important and Sita appears like she's simply tagging along, right? So apradhane, that is what in the sutra apradhana means. Okay, so when a word is used along with saha yukte, apradhane, in a little insignificant role, then that will get tritiya vibhakti. Okay, so here saharthena yukte apradhane tritiya syat. Saharthena iti kathanat sakam sartham samam iti paryayanam yoge api tritiya syat. Saharthena, saha arthena means in the meaning of saha. So it includes all the words that have the same meaning as saha. Like sakam, sartham, samam. All these words also have the same meaning as saha. So it need not be only saha. Saha Ramena saha Sita Vanam Gachati, Ramena Sakam, Ramena Sartham, Ramena Samam. Any of these words can be used in place of saha. So these are all paryaya padani of saha. So in all these cases, Tritiya Vibhakti, the word that is associated with it, Ramena saha, Sita Vanam Gachati, Kena saha, Ramena saha. So Rama is the word associated with saha. So Rama word gets Tritiya Vibhakti. We can also Sitaya saha Ramaha Vanam Gatavan, Ramaha Vanam Gatavan, Kaya saha Sitaya saha. So here Sita is saha is associated with Sita. So Sita gets Tritiya Vibhakti. Here there is no Karana kArakam. Remember that with Upapada Vibhaktis, the kArakam does not happen. Okay, they directly get the Tritiya Vibhakti because of the association with certain words. Here, because of the association with the word saha, the word gets Tritiya Vibhakti. Balaha mitrena saha agachati. Atra sahena yuktam mitram. ततः तृतीया भवति अस्मिन् वाक्ये बालः अपि कर्ता मित्रम् अपि यतः आगमनक्रियायाः आश्रयौ उभौ अपि दट् क्रियायाः आश्रयत्वं द्वौ अपि अस्ति बालेन अस्ति बाले अपि अस्ति मित्रे अपि अस्ति बट् मित्र अप्रधानं किन्तु बालः प्रधानं मित्रम् अप्रधानं मित्रस्य अप्राधान्यम् इत्थं निरूपणीयं कः आगच्छति बालः आगच्छति केन सह आगच्छति मित्रेण सह आगच्छति So how do you decide which one is pradhana karta and which one is apradhana karta? By asking. So in the sentence we have Ramaha agacchati. Kena saha agacchati, mitrena saha agacchati. So here Rama becomes pradhana karta, Mitra becomes apradhana karta. So like that you can decide which is pradhana and which is apradhana. बालः आगच्छति केन सह आगच्छति मित्रेण सह आगच्छति अत्र मित्रस्य अपि आगमनम् अभवत् इति प्रतीयते न तु शब्दमर्यादया उच्यते. So here pratīyate means to be recognized, we have to understand or to be understood. Here agamanam happens equally with the mitra also. It is not that he is only given just for namesake or anything. Evancha balasya agamanam shabdamaryadaya agacchati iti padena uchyate. Mitrasya agamanam tataha pratīyate. Etavan matrena mitrasya apradhanyam. So here, what this part of the sentence is saying is, so mitrena saha balaha agacchati. Here balaha has direct connection with the kriya padam, whereas mitra shabda does not have direct relation. It does not appear that it has direct relation with the kriya padam, but it is still the karta. Mitra padam is still the karta. There is no doubt about it. Both are equally, the kartrutvam is equally there in both the words. How do we decide that? Kriya ashrayatvam. Kriya ashrayatvam is there in mitram as well as in bala. So both are kartrupadani eva. But pradhanyatvam kimartam asahapadena yuktaha asti. Mitram padam. It is not directly connected to the kriya padam, but indirectly connected through this saha. That is why that pradhana and apradhana is coming into picture. But otherwise, in the kartrutvam, there is no doubt that both of them are equally have the same kartrutvam. Idam jneyam sahadi shabdena vina tadarthavagame api trutiya syat. Sahadi shabdena vina. In some sentences, the saha shabda may not be there. The saha shabda may not be there. Ramena Sita Vanam Gachati or Gatavati. You can say that also. It is acceptable. That is what this sentence is saying. Sahadi shabdena vina tadarthavagame api trutiya syat. But as long as that ardha is being conveyed, trutiya vibhakti bhavati. So Ramena Sita Vanam Gatavati. Here Ramena, why is it in Trutiya Vibhakti, though there is no Saha Shabda? Why? Because for that an example is given. Because that meaning is implied. Ramena Sita Vanam Gatavati. Here the meaning is implied that Sita along with Rama is going. So that meaning is being implied. So even if the Saha word or the paryaya padani of the saha word is not there, then also trutiya will happen. So the Rama Shabda still gets trutiya. Why? Because that meaning is being implied. And how can we say that this is acceptable for everything? If you notice, everything that is being said is being, the Paniniya Sutra is taken as pramanam. Paniniya Sutras are given. Based on this sutra, this is what is happening. Based on this sutra, this is what is happening. So for everything that is being explained, whether it is happening or not happening, a Paniniya Sutra is being quoted. So for us, Paniniya Sutras are pramanam. So we can always, whenever we have a doubt, we have to support it with a Paniniya Sutra. If we think this is how it is, then we have to check if there is a Paniniya Sutra supporting our understanding. If we find a Paniniya Sutra supporting our understanding or that particular case, then we can be confident that it is applicable. If you do not find a Paniniya Sutra, we have to see if there are any Vartikas supporting that, or in any Vyakyanam, if anything is given, such kind of things, we have to always back our arguments. Now, earlier we didn't have that. We were not learning Paniniya Sutras when we were doing the Pravesha, Parichaya and all. So we simply blindly followed what was the rules given there, but we didn't have, or we didn't know how to support. If somebody asked us, why this is happening here like this, why is this not happening there. We don't know how to support because we didn't study the Paniniya Sutras then. But now we are studying, so we have to associate with each case. When somebody new person asks you, for learning purposes only they will ask, but we should be able to be in a position to support it with a Paniniya Sutra. That is the Pramanam. That is the strength of Paniniya Sutra. Once you quote Paniniya Sutra, there is no one can deny what you are saying. But you have to apply it correctly and support it logically through the Paniniya Sutra. Then we will have that confidence. So here it is given that without the sahadi shabdaha api trutiya bhavati. How? Let us see here. Adhyapakah shishyena agacchati. Adhyapakah shishyena saha agacchati ityartah. That is what it means. But in the sentence, that saha word is not there. Adhyapakah shishyena agacchati only is given. Now, how do we know that such a application is valid, that we can use without the saha shabda? Vruddho yuna tallakshanaschedeva visheshaha iti sutra nirdeshaha atra pramanam. What this sentence says is, there is a sutra called Vruddho yuna tallakshanaschedeva visheshaha. This is a sutra, a Paniniya sutra. Iti sutra nirdeshaha atra pramanam. In this sutra, what did Panini do? Here, after yuna, there should be saha. Yuna saha. Vriddaha yuna saha tallakshanaschedeva visheshaha. That is the meaning of the sutra. That is what is being implied. But here, the saha is not used. The saha is not used. Since Panini Maharshi himself used that application, he used without saha, he put that sentence without using saha, we can take that itself as the pramanam. There is no sutra stating even without saha you can use trutiya vibhakti. There is no Paniniya sutra given anywhere. So when you are asked, how can you say that you can use trutiya vibhakti even without saha when it is implying the same meaning? Then we have to quote this. See, in this sutra, Panini Maharshi used the same thing without the saha word. There saha should have been there along with yuna. Okay? But here it is not there. So sometimes there will be some prayogas, though they are not technically, theoretically stated, the Vidvansas use them. Taking them as an example, we can use taking that as an example. That is what is being said. You see that in many cases, right? When there is a prayoga, a new word, it can be a little different than the regular word. Maybe for the chandas, maybe for some prasa, the poet will use it a little differently than the original word. The original word is, one way, but in the word that the poet uses, there might be a dirgha, there might be a hrasvam where a dirgha should have been there. Such changes will be there with some words. You must have noticed that. So is it really Shuddha Prayogam in the language, as per the language rules? Can it be written like that? No. But the poet used, and he is a very well-known poet, like Kalidasa, say for example. So once a Kalidasa-like poet has used it, it will become the norm in the language. We can quote that. We can quote Kalidasa himself has used this. So even I am using. So we take Kalidasa's Prayoga as the Pramanam. So here also in Panini's Sutra itself, it is used without Saha. So we can quote that as the Pramanam. And Vruddho yuna saha iti vaktavye kevalam Vruddho yuna iti prayogaha Paninina eva kritaha. Panini himself made this prayoga. It should have been Vruddho yuna saha. But that saha Panini Maharshi did not use. So based on that, we can take this pramana and say that when the meaning is implied, even if the saha word is not used, that is still fine. Okay. Now you must all be wondering, what is this Vruddho Yuna Tallakshanaschedaiva Visheshaha? What is this sutra, right? If you are interested, we can simply look into that sutra a little bit. It is interesting also. So let me share my screen. Okay. So here, are you all able to see my screen? Here you have this Vriddho Yuna Tal Lakshanaschedeva Visheshaha. Okay. Ekashesha is Anuvritti. Ekashesha comes as Anuvritti here. So here we have to understand a few things. Okay. It appears big, the explanation. But once you understand, it is very simple. Here we have two words. Vriddha word is there. Yuvan. This is actually Yuvan word, but in Tritiya Vibhakti, it becomes Yuna. Okay. Yuvan is the Shabda. So here we have Gotra Shabda, Vriddha Shabda, Yuvan Shabda. And what do all these mean? You all know what Gotra Shabda is. Based on the name of the head of the family, that Gotra comes, right? It is formed from the original noun, which is the name of the head of the family. And when anyone who are belonging to such in that lineage, they all are named under that Gotra. Similarly, Vriddha also is will be like Vriddha of that particular Gotra, means a descendant of that Gotra, represents a grandson or lower than that, but not a son. Immediate son will not be Gotrikudu. We don't say he belongs to that Gotra when it is immediate son. When it is immediate son, we refer to the name of the father directly, but that father's name is changed into the Gotra name for that whole lineage. Only the grandson and the following generations will be labeled as Vriddha or Yuvan. Yuvan also is the same. Vriddha is also the same. Both mean the offsprings starting from the grandchild and going forward, grandchild, great-grandchild, and so on. All those come under that Gotra. Okay, then they are called Vriddha and Yuvan. But what is the difference between Vriddha and Yuvan? Why two words are given between when they are meaning the same? What it means is they simply use two different suffixes. Like in Tadhitta, you have several suffixes to indicate Apatyam Puman, right? You have similar more than one suffix to indicate Gotra Patyam. You have more than one suffix to indicate several things. But the meaning wise, they are the same. They are simply using different suffixes. So here also such difference only is there. Yuvan derived from the same Gotra word by another suffix and thus represents persons lower than grandsons. So they Vriddha and Yuvan are like Gotrikulu. Okay, we say Gotrikulu, right? But they are labeled differently because they use different suffixes, but meaning wise they are the same. Now here Vriddha Yuna Saha should have been there. Tal Lakshanaschedeva Visheshaha. Now, what does this mean? Before going to this part, let us look at this Ekashesha. Ekashesha, we all remember, we did this in Samasa. And even we did in the very beginning, first class of this kArakam, where we did this Vagartha Viva Sampraktau. In that shloka, we have Pitarau, Jagatah Pitarau Vande, right? Jagatah Pitarau. What does this Pitarau mean here? It means Mata Pitarau. It means Mata Pitarau. Why are we not saying Mata Pitarau but Pitarau only? Because again we have a Paniniya Sutra which indicates that both parents are like the same, right? Whether it is Mata or Pita, both of them are parent. So it is representing. We can join them like because they are playing the same role, the parent role. And Pitarau is taken. And because it is in Dvivachana and they have the same forms, we take it in Dvivachana. This applies not only to Mata Pitarau, but Vrikshau. Vrikshaha, Vrikshaha, Vrikshau. So the Dvivachana of all these nouns is based on this Ekashesha only. Palakau, Ramau, Vrikshau, Ashvau. All the Dvivachanas are because of this Ekashesha only. Okay, because they have the same pratipadikam, the same vibhakti rupani, the same meaning. Sometimes even if the meaning is not same also, they can be joined in ekashesha, like Mata Pitaram. Technically, they are different words, but they are used in the same sense. And so Mata is also replaced with Pita and Pitarau it became. Okay, so this ekashesha is because of that. So now what is it? What is the saying? When Vriddha Shabda is used along with Yuna Shabda, then if the Lakshana is similar to that of like the Ekashesha, then it will also be doubled, like Gargyav. Okay, so Gargyaha and Gargyanaha, Gargyayanaha will become Gargyav. Why? Gargya is like a Vriddha word and Gargyayanaha is a Yuvan word. They both mean the same, but only the affixes are different. So they can be considered as same, and Ekashesha can happen. And when we are joining these two, Gargyav, the resulting word can be made as Gargyav. That is what this whole sutra is explaining. Now let us see. The tat in the sutra refers to the gotra and yuvan affixes. The word lakshana in the sutra is synonymous with cause, meaning the specific difference is caused only by the affixes. So the difference between gargya and gargyayanaha is only because of the suffix. There is no difference based on the meaning. So eva shabda indicates that. So the difference is only in the suffix, not anywhere else. Okay, in such a case, if that is the case, okay, then visheshaha, only the form is different. Okay, only the form is different, but meaning wise it is the same, and that difference in the form is also because of the affixes. Then we can join these two, ekashesha happens, and we get the form gargya. Okay, so Vatsya plus Vatsyayanaha, Vatsyav, it can happen. But you cannot use Gargya and Vatsyayanaha and then you cannot make it Gargyav. Because there the meaning is changing. Gargya is somebody who is coming from the Garga lineage, whereas Vatsyayanaha is somebody who is coming from the Vatsya lineage. Vatsya lineage. Okay, so you cannot join those two. It has to be same. That is what, see here, if different words are joined, then Gargya Vatsyayanav only you have to say. You cannot join them as Gargya or Vatsyayanav. They have to be like this only, separately. Okay, so that is what this means. So when the Vriddha word means not the actual Vriddha word, a word which indicates a lineage. Okay, when used along with the Yuna word, which also again indicates a word which is indicating the lineage. When such two words are used, and if they are meaning the same, except for the suffix, only when they are differentiated only by the suffix, then ekashesha happens. Okay, so that is what this shloka means. And this sutra, where yuna is used without the word saha, is taken as pramanam for us to say that saha need not be used if the meaning is implied. So Ramena Sita Vanam Gatavati is Shuddham Vakyam. And if anybody asks why are you saying it is Shuddham Vakyam, you quote this sutra and say here Panini Maharshi himself did not use the Saha word when it was needed. So I am taking that as Pramanam, and that is the reason we can say that we need not use Saha or any Paryaya Pada. Okay? Okay. So that is about that. And Anantaram, any questions so far? Okay. So then let us move on to the next sutra.
Excuse. I was also thinking that Vruddha and Yuvan are both are different. Old man and young person. How is that both are similar in the meaning? I was thinking. And what do you mean by lining? It means by lining. What do you mean by that?
Those who come like Raghuvamshiya, anybody who is born into the Raghuvamsha belongs to that lineage, or however you pronounce it.
Vansha.
Vamsha. Those who belong to that Vamsha are said to be, they belong to that lineage or lineage.
I understand.
Yeah. Like Rama, Lakshmana, Dilipa. Dilipa actually existed before Raghu Maharaja. So all the kings who came into that Surya Vamsa after Raghu Maharaja are considered to have the lineage of Raghu. Ikshvaku Vamshiya. Ikshvaku is also their lineage. Raghu, because he was a great king, the dynasty was named after him, but initially all of them belonged to Ikshvaku and Surya Vamshi, Yukulu, all these. So those are the names that indicate the lineage of all those kings. Similarly, even in the Maharshis also you have a lineage. The first head of the family, whatever his name is, will be taken as the name of the Gotra of that lineage, of all the rishis born into that into that Vamsham. So that can be referred to as lineage or Vamsham or yeah. And here Vriddha, old, that meaning is there. But here in this context, it means people with that Gotra. Of that Gotra can be considered as Vriddha, and Yuva also. Okay, for that again there are separate sutras which define that Vriddha and Yuvan Shabda in that way. Again, Panini's sutras are there. So the word Vriddha can be used in different senses. Old is one sense. This is another sense. In our vyakarana sense, Vriddha, Vriddhi Sandhi is there, no? There Vriddhi is again to grow. In that sense, of course, it is matching there, but there it is used as a sanya. So Panini Maharshi, this Vriddhi, all these, he used these words in vyakarana technical terms. So there they will mean a little different. Their guna is not like our guna, right? The quality. In Guna Sandhi, the word guna is used to label the words, the letters, alphabets. That's all. There we cannot take the meaning of guna as in our regular context, like quality. We cannot take it like that. So like that, there are, and there is a sutra which defines what is guna. Right? Panini's sutras are there, Iko Gunaha, like that. So that ik, the letters that come under this pratyahara are labeled as guna. So those sutras are there. So in Vyakarana perspective, guna has a different meaning. In Sahitya perspective, guna has a different meaning. Trigunas are there. In that way, that guna has a different meaning. Like this, the meaning of a word can change based on the context. So here, Vriddha and Yuvan Shabda also, in this particular context, they represent the grandsons of a particular lineage.
The grandsons, you can take even the brothers, cousin brothers, like that. They all
of the
they
same,
belong
like,
to same Gotra.
Pandavas can be considered as of the same Kuruvamsha only.
Kuruvamsha.
Yes. Right, but why are they referred to as Pandavas separately? Because here the distinction is to be made between the Kauravas and the Pandavas, so we are labeling them differently. But actually both, even Pandavas are Kauravas only, because they are originated from the Kuruvamsha. They qualify as Kauravas. And in one of our Gita Pravesha classes also, we saw in one of the shloka, Arjuna being referred to as Kaurava. Why? Because he is also from Kuruvamsha. All these are Kauravas only. But for us to distinguish between among these two groups, we have given a special name for these five as Pandavas. Otherwise, if we are referring them also as Kauravas, these Duryodhana and all also Kauravas, there will be confusion. Whenever I say Kaurava, who are you talking about? Either Duryodhana or Arjuna, you will ask. So to make that clear, here they are, in this context, they are referred to as Pandavas, but they also qualify as Kauravas because they were born into the Kuruvamsha. So brothers, kids also, whoever is born into that lineage will come under that lineage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So going on to page number 34, we have Vidyaya Jnanam Vardhate, Adhyayanena Vasati. Hetau is the sutram here. Hetau. Hetvarthe Trutiya Syat. Heturnama Karanam. Now, until now, we have seen kArakam, that is the Karaka Trutiya. And then here, of course, the Saha word. With Hetu, there is always a confusion for many of us. So, when to identify something as a Hetu and when to identify something as a Karanam. That is the most common confusion that comes to us when we are trying to identify or distinguish between it. Mostly, the sentences that we come across mostly are abstract nouns can be treated as karanam or hetu, abstract nouns. Santoshena vadati, dukkhena gachati, like that. So these are all abstract nouns. Okay, they will definitely qualify as hetus. They cannot be karanas. Sometimes they can be karanam also. In abstract noun, some can be taken as karana. Okay, again, there the vivaksha of the speaker comes. But hetvarthe tritiya syat. So what is hetvartha? फलसाधनयोग्यः पदार्थः लोके हेतुः इति उच्यते. फलसाधनयोग्यः पदार्थः. Now that padartha can be again of different kinds. Dravyadi nirvyapara sadharanam cha hetutvam. Okay. Karanatvam tu kriya matra vishayam vyapara niyatam cha. Now how to differentiate between hetu and karanam? Karanam kriya matra vishayam. There is kriya involved in it. For that kriya to happen, you need that karanam. Okay, we'll see clearly the difference. How, again, there also in the way you express, the same thing can be expressed as hetu as well as karanam. I will just now in a minute show those examples. So, but remember that you can call something as karanam when it is directly involved with the kriya. Karanam or karanatvam, kriya matra vishayam, vyapara niyatancha. It has vyapara also. You know what vyapara is in a kriya, right? The different steps of that for that kriya to happen. A dhatu has vyapara and phala. Two meanings of a dhatu are, one is vyapara and the other one is phala. Phalam is the final result. For what purpose you are doing that kriya, that phalam, that will be the phalam. And vyapara is all the steps that are involved for you to achieve that result. So pakana kriya, paka kriya. You wash the vessel, you put it on the stove, you light up the fire, you wash the rice, pour some water, put the rice. All these come under vyapara. What is the phalam? Cooked rice. Okay. Here, when something you are identifying as karanam, it has to have a relation with the kriya also and with the vyapara also. So all these, the agni, the firewood, the vessel, water, rice itself, the uncooked rice, all these are karanas. They can be used as karanas. Why? Because to finally get the cooked rice, these are all the sadhanas. No matter you light up the stove, put the vessel, pour the water, if you don't have tandula, what are you going to do? You cannot make cooked rice. So that also can be considered as sadhana to make the cooked rice, right? You need the raw material to make the cooked rice. So all those can be considered as, so they have to be directly involved with the kriya or the vyapara. That is how you can check if it is karanam or karanam. Karanam means hetu. So let us see what hetu is. Vidyaya jnanam vardhate. Atra jnanasya hetuhu vidya. Ataha hetu bhutayaha vidyayaha tritiya prakrita sutrena. So vidyaya jnanam vardhate. So for our knowledge to improve, what is the reason? Vidya. Vidya is the reason for our knowledge to improve. So here jnanasya hetuhu vidya. So hetu becomes the vidya. Vidya becomes the hetu here, and it will get tritiya vibhakti based on this hetau sutram. Adhyayanena vasati. Now before going to this adhyayanena vasati, let me again go back to my document. And I will share my screen again. Okay. So here we have hetau. Okay. Now here the hetu can be of a dravya material, of a kriya material, of a guna material, or a phala material. Okay. That is what is given earlier. Dravyadi nirvyapara sadharanam cha hetutvam. Okay. So that is how we can recognize hetu. It can be a dravya, kriya, guna, or a phala, but nirvyaparam. There is no vyapara involved. Whereas for a karanam, Vyapara is there. That is how you can distinguish between a hetu and a karanam. So let us see an example where a dravya padartha is used as hetu. Dandena ghataha. So ghatarthaha dandaha. So that is the meaning implied by dandena ghataha. So here ghataha means a pot. When the person is making a pot, they use danda to, I don't know really why or how, but they use a danda to keep it on that potter's wheel and for it to rotate somehow. So here dandena ghataha means a ghatarthaha. To make a ghata, danda is needed. It is the hetu. Here it is given as hetu. Now ghatena dandam nirmati. Sorry, dandena ghatam nirmati it should be. I wrote it wrong. Dandena ghatam nirmati. So with the danda, the ghatam is prepared or produced or produced. Okay. So here danda is the karanam. Means we are using danda as a karanam, as an instrument to make the ghata. To make the ghata. So in this sentence, it is framed in such a way that danda is karanam. In the previous example, dandena ghataha. To make ghata, danda is also the reason, or the danda is there to make a ghata. So here it is more of a hetu, whereas here dandena ghatam nirmati. Here danda will become a karanam. It will become an instrument. Okay. Let us see how it is used as a kriya. Punyena drishtaha harihi. Here kriya is an example. Here punyam. Why punya is considered as kriya? Dharmacharana janyam punyam. Punyam is generated from performing dharma. When you do dharmacharanam, then you will get punyam. So punyam is kriya in that sense. Because it is born out of a kriya, you consider it as a kriya here. And with that punya, you are able to see Hari. Because you accrued some punyam, you are able to see Hari. So here punyam is not a kriya directly, right? It is not a kriya directly. It does not have a vyapara within itself. Whereas yajnena drishtaha harihi. By performing yajna, you can see Hari. Here yajna means it involves vyapara. You are putting all the bricks, you are making a fire, you are sitting, you are reciting some shlokas and chants, and then you are putting the ghee in the fire. All these are kriya directly. And because of that, you are able to see Harihi. So here yajna will be considered as karanam because it has vyapara with the kriya. With the drishta kriya, it has vyapara. Because of performing all this, that Hari you are able to see. But in the previous case, punyam is not directly vyapara. It does not have any vyapara directly. It is the result of a vyapara, dharmacharanam. That is why it comes under the kriya. But that itself does not have any vyapara. So here it is punya is taken as hetu. Whereas here yajna is taken as karanam. The punyam accrued through yajna, also you can take it as karanam. Because directly the yajna is the yajna that results in haridarshanam. Because of yajna, you are doing something good, you are accumulating some good kriyas, and because of that you are seeing. That is how you can take. And then guna. Sukhena bhagyavan. Sukham is a guna. Sukham, dukkham, all these come under gunas. So here it is used as an hetu. It is not it is not involved in the vyapara, right? Bhagyavan. You call people, see, he's so lucky because he's always happy. He has a very comfortable life. So because of that, he's bhagyavan. So there, sukham will be considered as hetu. And then adhyayanena vasati. That is the example that we have in our book right now. So here what this adhyayanena vasati means is a person or a student is staying at a place, at a gurukulam, say for example. And why is he staying at the gurukulam? To study, for the purpose of studying. Okay? Only because of that he is there. So here, if the adhyayanam let us see in the book now and then come back to this last sentence. Now going back to our Karakam book, page number 34, Adhyayanena vasati. Adhyayanam vasa sadhyam. Vasasya anantaram hi adhyayana rupam phalam siddhyati. So a student goes to a Gurukula to study. But the very first day, will he complete his education? No. This is a phalam that he gets at the end of the period. After he stays there for so many months, then at the end of it, he will get the phalam. Anyatra karanam adau karyam anantaram iti kramaha. Now, if you see, say for example, Anyatra karanam adau karyam anantaram iti kramaha. Atra tu atra katham vasananantaram sampatyamanam adhyayanam karanam bhavati. So what is being said here is, but here it is being said here, but not always. Okay, if you take dandena ghatam nirmati, dandena ghatam nirmati. Here the danda is needed at the very beginning. That is the hetu. That is the karanam actually. Okay, that is the karanam. It is needed in the very beginning. Or if you take it as a hetu, dandena ghataha, danda, you need danda to prepare the ghata. So for the preparation of the ghata, you are having danda. So in the very beginning itself, it is identified. Okay, the phalam is not yet obtained. The phalam of having the prepared pot, the completed pot, comes at the very end. Right? The phalam is at the very end. But here also the phalam is at the very end. Why did he say vasasya anantaram hi adhyayana rupam phalam siddhyati anyatra karanam adau karyam anantaram iti kramaha. Atra katham vasanantaram sampatyamanam adhyayanam karanam bhavati iti shanka udeti. Samadhanam ittam vaktavyam. Pravrittim prati ishtasadhanata jnanam karanam. Adhyayanam karaniyam iti jnanam yadi na syat vasamapi na kuryat. Ataha adhyayanasya swajnanadvara vasam prati karanatvam. Ataha hetu bhutat adhyayanat trutiya anena sutrena. So here what is being said is adhyayanena vasati. This the phalam of obtaining adhyayanam karaniyam iti jnanam yadi na syat vasamapi na kuryat. Ataha adhyayanasya swajnanadvara vasam prati karanatvam. So vasam here is the karanam for adhyayanam. Only when you stay for that kind of period, only then the adhyayanam will happen. Okay, adhyayanena vasati. Here,
Madam, I got a small doubt. The same thing, adhyayanena vasati, for simplicity, to give the same meaning, we can say adhyayanardham vasati.
That is what is given. See here, if adhyayanam itself is phalam and hetu is avivakshita, then adhyayanaya vasam. Okay, adhyayanaya vasam in only when adhyayanam itself is phalam and hetu is not vivaksha by the speaker, then we can say adhyayanaya vasam. See, just by changing the sentences a little, the meaning also will change. By adhyayanena vasati, what is he saying? Pravritti prati ishtasadhanata jnanam karanam. Ishtasadhanata jnanam. Adhyayanam karaniyam. Iti jnanam yadi na syat vasamapi na kuryat. So if somebody understands that only if I stay through this period, only then I can have the adhyayanam. I can complete my adhyayanam. If that clarity is there, they will stay. Though the adhyayanam, the phalam is not happening in the very beginning, it is happening in the very end. But they understand the relation between staying there for so long and obtaining the phalam. For somebody who does not understand that, vasam na kuryat, they will not stay there for that long. So here, that vasam is not explicitly stated. So pravrittim prati ishta sadhanakta jnanam karanam. To obtain that ishta sadhanata jnanam means what is needed for me to get the phalam. That clarity should be there. If that clarity is there, and if you want to also express that, then you say adhyayanena vasati. If that hetu is not mentioned, if that hetu is not mentioned, adhyayanaya vasam, then you can say adhyayanartham vasam, adhyayanaya vasam. That will become for the sake of adhyayanam. Only for the sake of adhyayanam. Only the phala. Only for that phala, if you want to emphasize on that, then you can say adhyayanaya vasam. That is what I wrote here. Otherwise, phala adhyayanena vasati. So here the vasana kriya, or the vasam is also has equal role in obtaining the phalam. By staying only, I can complete my adhyayanam. Whereas in this example, that is not, the emphasis is on more on adhyayanam as the phalam. Whereas in this sentence, staying for that period of time, that also is being emphasized on. So then you use tritiya vibhakti. Then you are using it as hetu. Then you are using adhyayanam as hetu, and so you put it in tritiya vibhakti. But if you don't want to express that as the hetu, and you are focusing only on adhyayanam as the final result, adhyayanaya vasam you can say. Okay, so that is the difference between adhyayanena vasati, adhyayanaya vasam. So adhyayanena vasati, by using this as hetu, by expressing this as hetu, what you are indicating is you staying in that place for so long until you achieve the phalam is being emphasized on. Whereas adhyayanaya vasam, here the emphasis is more on obtaining the phalam rather than staying for the complete period of time. So the vivaksha is not there in that. Hetu, the hetu is not being emphasized on. Hetu is avivakshita. So then you say adhyayanaya vasam. Okay. So that is with hetav. Those are the words that we have for hetav. So hetu can be a dravya padartha, can be a kriya padartha, can be a guna, can be a phala. The phala can also be expressed as hetu. Here, what is the phalam? Our completing of the study. So adhyayanam is the phalam, but we are representing it as hetu. If we don't want to represent it as hetu, then we put it in chaturthi. Because the purpose, what is the purpose here? So here we are saying both mean the same. You are staying there for adhyayanam, but what you are emphasizing on can be explicit by using adhyayanam as either hetu or not. That is how we need to look at it. Okay. Any questions in this? This karanam and karanam, the hetu and karanakarakam, will be a confusion, definitely for a while. With certain things, especially the abstract nouns, they can be a little confusion. But even with the dravya padartha, like the danda in the making of the pot, that also can be expressed in both ways. But normally it will be expressed as karanam only. Many cases in the practical sense, it is used as karanam only. Here, for us to understand how it can be used as both, those examples are given. But normally, danda, when it is expressed in the sense of used for making a pot, it is marked as karanakarakam only. Okay, very rarely for us to understand how it can be expressed both ways, these examples are given. Okay. Adhyayanartham only is mostly used technically, but here again to differentiate how the adhyayanam can also be used as a hetu. For that reason, this example has been given. But normal usage is adhyayanartham. Okay, that only will be used. But since we are studying karakas in such detail and the vibhaktis in such detail, we also have to learn all the possible usages. So for that reason, we are studying. But don't get overwhelmed. Use the most common ones. But we have this also in our mind. So when some such application comes, we'll understand, okay, here the Vakta wants to use this in Tritiya Vibhakti, means he's emphasizing on it as Hetu. So in that way, we can understand. Yes, Harsha Bhagini?
Bhagini, I have two questions. First question is regarding Adhyayanena. That is the meaning that as long as the period of study is completed, that is the meaning, and hence we are using the third vibhakti. But what was another word that you use? Adhyayanam?
Adhyayanaya, Chaturthi Vibhakti, which means Adhyayanartham, means for the purpose of study.
And that is a fourth vibhakti. Okay, and I have another second question regarding Hetu. You mentioned Hetu can be used in a three different way. One is the Dravya Padartha, and what are the other two? I couldn't catch it.
Dravya Padartha, Kriya, Guna, and Phala.
Kriya, Guna, and Phala. Okay, go on.
As Dravya, the danda used in the making of the pot. As a Kriya, Punyam, with your Punyam, you are able to see Hari. And why Punyam is considered as Kriya here? Because Dharmacharana Janyam Punyam. Punyam is the result of Dharmacharana. Dharmacharana is a Kriya. By doing some Dharma Kriyas, you get Punyam. So that is why it is considered as a Kriya. And it is being used as a Hetu. Punyena Harihi Drishtaha. You are able to see Hari because of the punya that you accrued. Okay, and Guna is Sukhena Bhagyavan. He is really lucky because of the sukhams that he has, the conveniences that he has in his life.
Yeah, okay. And
the Phala is Adhyayanena Vasati. Here when Adhyayana is used, Adhyayana is the phalam, because the result of staying in the Gurukula for so long, the final result is Adhyayanam. You have completed your education. That is the phalam. But here Adhyayanam is used as Hetu. When you say Adhyayanena Vasati, there it is used as Hetu. When it is not used as Hetu, then the sentence would be Adhyayanaya Vasam.
Adhyayanaya Vasam. And that would become fourth vibhakti.
That is for the purpose.
Yeah, that is for the purpose. Okay. But that is expressed in the fourth vibhakti, correct?
Yes. Only when the vivaksha is not there on adhyayanam as the phalam, to express it as a phalam or a hetu, not as a phalam. If you don't have the intention of expressing adhyayana as a hetu, then you use adhyayanaya vasam.
Okay.
Want to use it as a karanam. This is the karanam why I am staying here. This is the reason why I am staying here. Then that is hetu. Then you will get tritiya vibhakti. Adhyayanena vasati.
I understood, Bhagini. Dhanyavad, Bhagini.
Both the sentences mean the same, but in one thing you are saying only to study. Because of studying, because I have to study, I am staying here. So that is expressed as a reason, as a hetu. Adhyayanena vasati. Whereas here, for the sake of study, for me to obtain that knowledge, I am staying here. So the way you are expressing is only a little different, but both finally mean the same thing. You are staying there for studying, but what you are emphasizing on, that differs how you express that adhyayana word, whether you are expressing it as hetu or as purpose.
Right. Dhanyavad, Bhagini. How long will it take for a person like beginner who's learning language to differentiate such as subtle differences in expression? You know, it requires a lot of practice and lot of understanding, and of course and it also requires a lot of explanation from teachers like you. Otherwise it's not possible.
Reading several scriptures also will help, because we will be exposed to all kind of usages by the scholars. So once we are used to it, then automatically that will happen. You always compare it with how we feel comfortable in our mother tongue or English. Did we sit and learn in this way? But we still are able to understand the usages. Why? Because we are more exposed. We are listening to other people speaking. We are reading books in that language. We are watching the news and all this. So language always happens through listening mostly. Then automatically you don't have to sit and do all this vyakarana. Did you do that in your mother tongue? No, but you still know it. In English also, we might have done a little bit, but most of it we have acquired through listening and reading. So those are the main sadhanas for learning a language, actually, listening. More than anything, listening. Even music, they say the same. Music also is nothing but a language. So different ragas, how can you identify? If you know the Arohanam and Avarohanam, it won't happen. You cannot, if you somebody plays music and ask you to identify the raga, though you know all the ragas and what the Avarohanam and Arohanam are for each of those ragas, you still cannot identify. You have to keep listening, listening, listening. Only then you will be able to identify the raga. That because you need to know those swarasthanas by listening. Similarly, here also in the language also is the same. But the thing is, we are not getting an opportunity to listen to that much of fluent Sanskritam being spoken. So we are sitting and reading the books and trying to understand. But practical side also should be there. We have to keep listening great scholars talking in Sanskritam and also read the Kavya Kathas. You know, the Kavyas and all these more and more shlokas. All these, if we keep reading, 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 then all these, we will be exposed to all kind of usages. Some usages are very rare. So unless we study so many kavyas, we may not even come across certain usages. But at least the most common ones will be able to pick up.
Right. Okay. I understand, but even then, some of the Sanskritam, when you study and you try to look into the dictionary and find the suitable words, is not as precise or close to the whatever the sentence is written as we see in other languages, like for example in English, because there are so many objective options are there, and also it is divided into the so many different ways and dissected that particular word that one gets confused by itself that which one we are supposed to look into it first, and even just simple example is astadhyayi. Sometimes it is so difficult to pick the meaning from which one, especially for unknown person. Everything looks correct and everything looks incorrect at the same time.
Because that is the reason why we have this Mahabhashyam and Vartikas and Vyakyanas, written by so many people again, because Ashtadhyayi itself is difficult for people like us to comprehend directly. So even the Mahabhashyam also is difficult for us. Even the Siddhanta Kaumudi also, we cannot simply read and understand at the first thing. A lot of Adhyayanam, because they are very briefly and in Sanskritam itself, very briefly, the explanations are done. So we need to go through books like this, I think. Samskrita Bharati that way is doing a very good job. They have written so many books with so many concepts, subject concepts in mind. So for us, it will become easy through these books to understand better.
Yet, I understand, Bhagini, but till we reach to that level of picking up a bhasya or picking up understanding which book of the bhasya which will be simple, there is somebody, teacher or some known person who has gone through the same journey of study would share. That is the only way the novice person can get to know how to go forward. Otherwise, they can get easily lost in the system.
Yes, that is true. We definitely need guidance because there is so much, and even to know where to look for what, we need guidance.
That's why that is the biggest sloka that's in Sanskrit has been constructed. Bina Guru Gnana Kahan se paun. You know, it is, I'm saying it in Hindi, but that is a similar sloka is there in Sanskrit too. That without the guru, you don't get the knowledge. And that's the first sloka somewhere along the line it is been written. And that is very true. I'm sorry, I'm always diverting my conversation to something else, which I don't mean to. Thank you, Bhagini. I should end here.
Okay. Okay, Bhagini, thank you.
Thank you.
So the
Thank
next one is the Akshna Kanaha Padena Khanjaha. So here Yenanga Vikaraha is the sutra. Yenanga Vikaraha. Yena Anga Vikaraha. So Anga Vikaraha. So Yenangena Vikritena Angina Vikaraha Lakshyate Tataha Trutiya Syat. When we are trying to point out the Vikara with a particular Anga, he is blinded by this eye. He is lame by this leg. So we are indicating the Vikara by a particular Anga. Then for that Anga, Trutiya Vibhakti happens. Okay, Anginaha Vikritihi Vikritena Angena Yada Lakshita Bhavati Tada Vikritat Angat Trutiya Bhavati Ityartaha. Lakshyate means indicated. So Yena Angena Vikritena means by a anga that is deformed. Anginaha Vikaraha Lakshyate. Anginaha, that handicapped person's Vikaraha is indicated. By which organ or by which part, that will get Trutiya Vibhakti. Akshna Kanaha. Kanaha means Andha. So he is blind by the eye. Because of the eye, he is blind. So Akshana. Aksha is the word which is the deformed Anga. So that will get Trutiya. Atra Vikritam Angam Akshi. Tadrishena Akshna Anginaha Devadattasya Kanatvam means Andhatvam Lakshyate. Ataha Vikritangat Akshnaha Trutiya Bhavati Prakrita Sutrena. So by this sutra, the Anga which is indicating the Angavaikalyam of that person will get Trutiya Vibhakti. So Yenanga Vikaraha.
Madam, here Akshna means Tritiya Vibhakti of Akshi.
Correct. Correct.
Is it Akshin? Akshin is the actual word.
Yes.
Akshi, what is the Pratipadikam for Akshna Tritiya Vibhakti? What is the Pratipadikam for Akshna?
For
Akshi or Akshin?
is the Tritiya Vibhakti, no?
Correct.
So Akshi is a Napumsakalinga Shabda.
Okay. Akshin it may be.
Akshi, Akshini, Akshini.
Akshi is Pradhama Vibhakti Ekavachanam.
Ah.
Pratipadikam is Akshin, na?
Pratipadikam is also Akshi only.
Akshi only. Okay.
Akshana is the
Okay.
Tritiya Ekavachanam.
Okay. Akshna Andhaha. Kanaha means Andhaha.
Kana means one eye, one defaulted eye.
Oh, one default. Kanaha means Andhaha means both eyes not there.
Only
Kanaha
one
means
eye.
one eye is not there. Okay.
One is not.
Okay. That is difference between Kanaha and Andhaha. Actually, that
Yes, yes.
words also meaning also we don't know. I don't know. Okay.
He who has only one eye is called Kanaha.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, miss.
One-eyed person. So he is blinded and he is blind, and so became a one-eyed person. In that sense, we can take.
No, one eye is defaulted, one eye is good. So you can see with only one eye.
So Kanaha means a person with one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I said. And why is he a person with one eye? Because in one eye he is blind.
Yeah, other eye is on defaulted.
Yeah. So the second one is Padena Khanjaha. Atra Vikritam Angam Padaha. So here, Tadrishena Padena Anginaha Yajnadattasya Khanjatvam means Kuntita Pada Shaktihi Lakshyate. Ataha Vikritangat Padat Trutiya Bhavati Prakrita Sutrena. So again, Khanjaha means Khanjaha means
Limp.
A person who is lame, right?
Limping. Limping with one leg.
Limping on one leg means he is lame.
The other leg is defaulted.
Limping. So because of the vikara in one leg, he is limping. A person who is limping. So here the patena and akshana will get tritiya vibhakti. That is by the sutra yenanga vikaraha. Anantaram devena vina trinamapi na chalati. Devat vina trinamapi na chalati. Devam vina trinamapi na chalati. So here devena vina, devat vina, devam vina. We have deva in 3 different vibhaktis. In the first one, tritiya vibhakti. In the second one, devat vina, panchami vibhakti. In the third one, devam vina, dvitiya vibhakti. So prithak vina nanabhi tritiyantarasyaam. Prithak vina nanabhi tritiyantarasyaam. So abhiyor yoge tritiya syat. What are the words? Prithak, vina, nana. By these 3 words, tritiya vibhakti we get. Panchami dvitiye cha. Also, they can also get panchami and dvitiya. Atra vina ityanena yoge devasya. Ataha devat tritiya bhavati prakrita sutrena. So, what word is attached or used along with vina? Devena vina. Trinamapi na chalati. Without the deva, even the grass will not move. Okay, so here the vina shabda is being used along with the deva shabda. So deva shabda gets tritiya vibhakti. Tritiya bhava pakshe. Tritiya abhava pakshe. Devat vina trinamapi na chalati. Iti panchami. When tritiya vibhakti is not used, panchami, if panchami is also not used, tasyaha api abhava pakshe devam vina dvitiya api bhavati. Okay, so all these 3 vibhaktis can be used by the sutra prithak vinananabhihi trutiyantarasyam. And anantaram prakritya charuhu prayena yajnikaha gotrena gargyaha dvidronena dhanyam krinati sukhena yati dukkena yati namna sutikshnaha namna chandrakala. So here we have so many words. All these words belong to the Prakriti Gana. Like how we have the Pradigana, like that we also have Prakriti Gana. Under that Prakriti Gana, there are some words. And all those words, when they are used, they get Tritiya Vibhakti. So here, Prakrityadibhyaha Upasankhyanam. This is a Vartikam. There is no Paniniya Sutra, but a Vartikam. Prakrityadihi kaschana ganaha. Yasmin gane prathamaha shabdaha prakriti shabdaha. Prakrityadi shabdebhyaha trutiya vibhaktihi bhavati. So all these words which belong to the Prakriti Gana get trutiya vibhakti, irrespective of how they are being used. Okay? So wherever you use them, you can use them in trutiya vibhakti. Prakrityadi shabdebhyaha trutiya vibhaktihi bhavati. Esha trutiya sarva vibhakti apavadaha. Apavadaha means exception, exceptional case. So there will always be a general case and there will be one exception stated for anything, right? Like even in our parasmaipadi dhatus, all follow a particular pattern. But kru dhatu is a little different. Karoti. It has okaram before taka, before the last ti. All have akaram. Pathati, gacchati, agacchati, likati. All these have akara right before ti. But karoti, o, it has okaram before ti. That is exception. So similarly, here also, this tritiya vibhakti is, comes as an exception. Means when no other vibhakti applies, tritiya vibhakti comes. Sarva vibhakti apavadaha. Prakritya charuhu means swabhavenaiva abhirupaha, means by nature. By nature itself, that person is beautiful, not because he has been decorated with jewels or expensive clothes, not because of that. By nature, he is beautiful. Prayena yajnikaha. Bahvachara jnapya yajnikatvan. So here, prayena yajnikaha. Here, praya shabda means bahu. Prayaha means bahu. So here, bahu, yajnikaha means by doing so many yagas, he is known as yajnikaha. Bahvachara jnapya yajnikatvavan. He is known as a yajnika because of the so many yagas that he has done. Okay? In that sense, we can take. Gotrena gargyaha. Gotram asya gargyaha. So, he is known as a gargya because of his gotra. And what is his gotra? Garga. Because of that, he is known as gargya. By his gotra, he became a gargya. And Garga is the very first person in that lineage. His name is used as the Gotra for all that follow. Okay. Sukhena yati. Sukha janakam yanam karoti. So here Sukham is the word that is being used. Sukha janakam yanam karoti. Dukkhena yati. Dukkha janakam yanam karoti. So his means he's going on a journey, but he is sad. When he is going on that journey, he's sad. In that sense, you can take Sukha janakam yanam karoti. Or he's going on a yatra that is very comfortable or not comfortable or sad or whatever. Like say, for example, somebody loses a family member. So they are going from, they are somewhere else at that point, they are going back. So that journey causes them dukkham, right? Because they wouldn't have made that journey if they did not lose a family member. Because they lost the family member, they are going on this journey. So this journey is dukkha janakam, like that. Namna sutikshnaha. Nama jnapya sutikshnatvavan. Sutikshnaha means very sharp, right? Sharp in the looks or brains or however. So by name, he is known to be a person with that quality. Namna Chandrakala, this also. But I didn't understand Nama Bhuta Chandrakala Bhinna. Chandrakala Bhinna. Why that Bhinna word is there, I am unable to understand. Namna Chandrakala means by name, you can take it as you know, that person has the Chandrakala, means the beauty of a moon or something like that by the name. I don't know. That I did not understand. I could not find also anywhere more about it. Okay. So Prakriti Ganebhyaha. So Prakrityadibihi Upasankhyanam. So this is a Vartikam which states that all the words which belong to the Prakriti Gana get Tritiya Vibhakti, and this Tritiya Vibhakti is coming as an Apavada, means nothing else will stand in the line. So Tritiya Vibhakti only has the priority here. No other Vibhakti can take over Tritiya Vibhakti in any case. So that is how you can remember this particular Vartikam. Anantaram Alam Vistarena. Gamyamanapi kriya karaka vibhaktau prayojika yatra kriyabodhakam padam na shruyate apitu yogyataya adhyahriyate tatra adhyahrita padabodhya kriya api karaka vibhaktehe pravrittau nimittam bhavati ityarthaha. So here, though we studied alam shabda in the, I think we studied this in the Pravesha, we also studied this in the Gita Sopanam book 2. Alam Shabda. Whenever Alam Shabda is there, Tritiya Vibhakti happens, we studied. But it is actually not the Alam Shabda that causes the Tritiya Vibhakti. Here it is given, see. Alam Vistarena ityatra bodhyam iti adhyaharaniyam. So here there is no Kriyapadam. Alam Vistarena. There is no Kriyapadam. So we can take a Kriyapadam as adhyahritam like bodhyam. Vistarena means very detailed, very clearly, right? In a very exaggerated way. Bodhyam means somebody is explaining something in a very elaborated way. Alam Vistarena Bodhyam. If we take Bodhyam as adhyahritam, that will be the sentence. Alam Vistarena Bodhyam. alam iti nishedhatmakam avyayam. So what is alam? The meaning of the alam is it is stopping you from doing whatever. So alam means enough. So nishedhatmakam avyayam. Vistarena bodhyam kimapi nasti ityartah. So kimapi nasti ityartah means you don't have to explain it in such detail, or you can take it in that meaning. Atra bodhana kriyam prati vistaraha karanam. So here, how is the bodhyam happening? Vistarena. So vistaraha is karanam here, because it is being used as a karanam. It is not a hetu, right? It is not a hetu. It is used as a karanam. How is the bodhanam happening? In a very detailed way. So it is a karanam. Ataha karane trutiya. So this is because of the karana karakam only. Karane trutiya. Yadyapi alam shramena, alam gamanena, alam bhojanena, ityadau tritiyayaha pravrittau alam iti na nimittam. तथापि एतादृशेषु वाक्येषु निषेधार्थकस्य अलं शब्दस्य प्रयोगे तृतीया भवति इति स्मरणं सुकरम्. It is simple to remember that whenever alam is there, tritiya vibhakti. So that is why it is quoted along with alam. But actually alam is not the word that is causing the tritiya. It is, all these words are like karanams. Like say for example, shramena karyam karoti. With a lot of hard work, he is doing the work. So here shramena karyam karoti. So shrama is used as a tool to do that work. So it is a karanam only. Alam shramena. Then you are telling somebody, stop, don't work so hard. Alam shramena. Right? But the tritiya vibhakti of shramena is not because of alam. It is because it is the karanam of that kriya. So it is because of karana karakam only. But it is easy for us to remember when it is used along with alam. So all these words, it is given, see here. Yadyapi alam shramena, alam gamanena, alam bhojanena, ityadau tritiyayaha pravrittau, alam iti na nimittam. Alam is not the nimittam here. Tathapi, but even then, etadrisheshu vakyeshu nishedharthakasya alam shabdasya prayoge trutiya bhavati iti smaranam sukaram. If we remember it in that way, it becomes easy for us. So whenever you see alam, okay, trutiya vibhakti. The word which is used along with alam will get trutiya vibhakti. But normally, alam is not the nimittam. So you can consider it as karaka vibhakti only here, the tritiya vibhakti. It is not upapada vibhakti, but it appears like upapada vibhakti. And we also can take it like that for, making it easy. Okay. So that is alam vistarena. Anantaram ahna anuvakodhitaha yojanena shlokodhitaha. अपवर्गे तृतीया अपवर्गः फलप्राप्तिः तस्यां द्योत्यायां कालाध्वनोः अत्यन्तसंयोगे तृतीया स्यात्. Before looking at this अपवर्गे तृतीया, we need to look at one sutra from which the kaladhvanoho and atyanta sanyoga, those two words are taken as anuvritti here. Okay, from the previous shloka. So I'm sharing my screen again. If you look here at the bottom of this PDF, Kaladhvanor Atyanta Sanyoge Dvitiya. Dvitiya comes as Adhyahritam for this shlokam. And from this shlokam, Kaladhvano and Atyanta Sanyoga are taken as Anuvritti in this current sutra, Apavarge Trutiya. If you see, this is the second adhyaya, third pada, fifth shloka, fifth sutra. This apavarge trutiya is the second adhyaya, third pada and sixth sutra. So this apavarge trutiya follows this sutra. So it is taking these two words as anuvritti from this sutra. That is why apavarge trutiya, only that is given. But for you to understand that, it will be easy if we understand this. Kaladhvano ratyanta sanyoge. कालशब्देभ्यः अध्वशब्देभ्यः द्वितीया विभक्तिः भवति इति अत्यन्तसंयोगे गम्यमाने. So whenever we use kala shabda and adva shabda. Adva means marga, words which indicate the marga. Okay, dvitiya vibhakti bhavati when atyanta sanyoge. What does atyanta sanyoga mean? Sanyoga means joining, taking up the entire thing. Atyanta sanyoga means without leaving even a pinch of space. Like tile tailamasti. In the sesame seed, oil is there. It is occupying every part of the seed. It is not like focused only on the first part of the seed and the back part of the seed does not have any oil. It is not like that, right? So that kind of sanyoga is called atyanta sanyoga. Okay. Kriya guna dravyaihi sakalyena kaladhvanohi sambandha atyanta sanyogaha. So with the kriya and guna and dravya, with all these, if the kala shabda and if the adva shabdas are in atyanta sanyoga, if they have the sambandha in atyanta sanyoga, then they will get dvitiya. Okay, like masam adhite. Here masam adhite. Masam is in dvitiya vibhakti adhite. Means that person studied for the entire month, not even one day or a part of one day he did not leave out. Every single day, complete day, he studied for 1 month. Then the masa shabdam, the kala shabda gets dvitiya vibhakti. Okay, samvatsaram adhite. Samvatsaram is again a kala shabda. Adhite. He studied for an entire year. Masam kalyani. This is a guna. Okay, so here kriya, guna, dravya. So adhite is a kriya. Kalyani means auspicious. It is a guna. Masam kalyani. The entire month is auspicious. You can do whatever new karyam you want to start any time of the month because the entire month is kalyani. Masam kalyani. Samvatsaram kalyani. This also. Only the kalavachaka shabda is different, but the thing is same. Samvatsaram pushpaha. So here flowers. This is the dravya. Pushpa is a dravya, right? Materialistic padartha. So for the entire year, the garden will bear fruits. Flowers. Okay, samvatsaram pushpaha. And here advanaha, in the sense of advanaha. Krosham adhite. Krosham is measurement of distance. Okay, for that whole distance he was studying while he was going to school from his home to the school. It is about 1 kilometer, say for example. He was reciting whatever he studied, he is reciting the whole way. So krosham adhite. Yojanam adhite. For that entire yojanam again is a measurement of distance. He was studying. Krosham kutila nadi. Kutila is a guna, crooked. We saw this even when we were studying the Dvitiya Vibhakti. So for that entire distance of krosham, the nadi is crooked. It is turning this way and that way. It is not straight. Yojanam kutila nadi, same. Krosham parvataha. So here the parvata is occupying the entire krosha. It is not only a part of the space, but the entire krosham the parvata is occupying. Similarly, yojanam parvataha. Now, having read this, let us come back to the book. Apavarge trutiya. Apavarga means phalapraptihi. Tasyam yotyayam kaladhvanoho atyanta sanyoge trutiya syat apavarge. Means only when the phalaprapti is done. So coming back, masamadhite. Say in this masamadhite, it only says that this particular person studied for the whole month. Whether he completed the study or not is given here. The phalam is not mentioned here. If the phalam is mentioned, if he is successful in the obtaining the phalam of his adhyayanam, then you put it in trutiya. So masena adhite it becomes. So there is that difference. If you say saha masam adhite, he studied for 1 whole month. Saha masena adhite, oh, he studied for 1 whole month and even obtained the phalam, means he completed whatever he was studying, he completed that. So phalam api abhavat. So that is the difference. Apavargaha phalapraptihi. Okay, apavargaha means phalapraptihi. If the phalam is also received, then we put it in Tritiya. If the phalam is not obtained, but only the kriya is done, then we put it in Dvitiya. So that is the difference here. So let us see the sentences given here in the book. So going back to page number 35, Anha anuvakodhitaha atra ahan iti shabdaha kalavachakaha tataha tritiya bhavati. So anuvakaha means a part of Vedas. A part of Vedas. So Anha anuvako adhitaha, anuvakaha adhitaha. Here ahan, it is a kalavachaka shabda. So Tritiya bhavati, Anha, that is Tritiya vibhakti, means he completed studying that part of the Veda in a day. Ahan means one day. But it is put in Tritiya vibhakti. Yojanena shloko dhitaha. Atra yojana shabdaha advaparimana vachi. Tataha Tritiya bhavati. So, so for one yojana, a distance of one yojana, he was studying the shloka. But it also implies, because of the Tritiya vibhakti, phalapraptihi is also indicated. So he mastered that shloka. He by hearted or understood or whatever. Okay. So ayamatra visheshaha ahani nirantaram anuvakaha adhitaha kantagatascha abhavat iti prathama vakyasya arthaha yojanam yavat shlokodhitaha kantagatascha abhavat iti dvitiya vakyasya arthaha. Kantagatascha means he also memorized it. So the phalapraptihi also has happened. That is how it means. Ataha eva sutre apavarge phalapraptau ityuktam pratyudaharanam masamadhitaha na ayataha iti. Masamadhitaha, when it is in Dvitiya vibhakti, na ayataha. Na ayataha means that kanthastikaranam has not been done. Okay.
Madam, the first sentence, Ahna Anuvako Adhita, can we say Ahna Purvam Anuvako Adhita?
Why Purvam?
Ahna Purvam means Ahna before noon itself, the Anuvaka is completed. Ahna Purvam.
Before a day.
Before a daytime. Daytime.
But that is not what you want to say, no? In one day, he completed studying that Anuvakam. That is what you want to say.
Or Asni Samaye, Asni, in Saptami Vibhakti, if you use Asne Anuvako Adhita, Saptami Vibhakti is more looking like more appropriate meaning wise. But in daytime, he has completed his Anuvaka in daytime.
But here we have this Paniniya Sutra, no? Whenever you are using Kalavachaka Shabda or Margavachaka Shabda, we have to put it in Dvitiya if there is no Phalaprapti. If there is Phalaprapti, we have to put it in Tritiya. This is how the Panini Sutra says. So that is how only it has to be written.
But by Kaladhikarana is also there in Saptami Vibhakti. Ahna, Ahne, and that is Ahna, Saptami Pradhama Vibhakti. That is Kaladhikarana.
Kaladhikaranam is there, but Kaladhikaranam, like say for example, Grihe Patham Patati, Pathashalayam Patham Patati, Sayankale Kridati. In such cases, you use Kaladhikaranam. But here, when you are using, and Atyanta Sanyoga is also there. So here, this also means Atyanta Sanyoga. So when you are using it in Tritiya Vibhakti or Dvitiya Vibhakti, for that entire day he studied is also being implied. That Atyanta Sanyoga is also there. When you say Sayanka, when you use Saptami Vibhakti, it does not indicate Atyanta Sanyoga.
Okay.
And it also does not include Phalaprapti. In one day he studied, if you say, it does not indicate Atyanta Sanyoga to start with, and whether Phalaprapti is there or not, only in the sense, because in English we say in one day I completed that work, it kind of indicates the completion of the work. But in Sanskritam, it does not indicate Atyanta Sanyoga. Here, both these should also be considered. Atyanta Sanyoga and Phalaprapti, then Tritiya Vibhakti. Atyanta Sanyoga, but no Phalaprapti, Dvitiya Vibhakti. Atyanta Sanyoga is something we have to keep in mind. That is being indicated here. The whole day he has studied. Okay? Okay. So let us stop here since we are almost close to 12 o'clock. Sorry, 9:13. So any questions? Okay. So we shall stop here. Alivelu Bagini.
आं भगिनि सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवाद भगिनी नमस्कारः सर्वेभ्यः धन्यवादः नमस्कारः
धन्यवाद भगिनी सुपर